Well, tonight, the IT-Made investigation uncovering what big drug companies and some pharmacies don't want you to know.
IT-Made anchor Karen Hensel exposes this system that could be costing every American. Karen.
Yeah, Debbie and Eric, our investigation is uncovering a rare behind-the-scenes look inside the drug pricing of a multi-billion-dollar industry. And for the first time, we show you what you pay and what you should be paying.
You shop for the best price on gas, on your home. But what about your prescription drugs? Most don't because they believe generic drugs mean cheaper or that you only have to pay your standard copay with your insurance, right? Wrong.
Even on the generics, there is such a huge difference in pricing.
Huge.
So huge, IT-Made launched an investigation. Amy Peak is a pharmacist who also teaches the next generation of pharmacists at Butler.
Just because you're getting generic doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a good deal.
IT-Made compared drug prices by calling different pharmacies, but also through the Red Book, the source known only to insiders of wholesale prices. Drugs are distributed through wholesalers to pharmacies to you. For example, the generic version of Lamisil used for toe fungus and often not covered by insurance. The cost difference between generics, same drug, different prices, was alarming.
How can a drug cost $10 at one pharmacy and be $100 at another pharmacy?
Bill Schinkel does the buying for Low Cost RX, a locally owned pharmacy.
The individual wholesalers and people make different contracts. They have deals with different companies, and it depends on who they make the best deal with.
That's why he shops around among the wholesalers before he buys. As an independent, the savings is passed to you, the customer. For instance, since he can buy the same generic of Lamisil for $5.29, he'll sell it for $11.59.
All of our prices are based off cost and go up from there.
So, how do you save? First, shop around for prescription drug prices. Even with insurance copays, we've all had to pay out of pocket for some medicines. Where you pay, big or small pharmacy, could save you hundreds. For an antidepressant medicine, the cost can be 5 times higher, just a few blocks away at another pharmacy.
Okay, so wait a minute. The first one was
$21.99.
$21, and then another wholesaler, the exact same thing, is
$124.
That's unbelievable.
That's what I was telling you. There's just
There's no rhyme or reason.
not rhyme or reason.
5 times higher is just what the pharmacy pays. You'll pay even more. Secondly, our IT-Made investigation found the bigger the chain, the bigger the savings is not necessarily true.
I wouldn't go to another drugstore you paid me.
Take, for example, John Badiato.
I was a fireman.
A retired Indianapolis firefighter on a budget. He depends on low-cost generic prescriptions from an independent pharmacy.
And I can't remember the last time I paid full price.
And you're taking mostly generics.
All generics.
Insurance covers his 11 prescriptions.
For both of them?
$10 for both.
We did some checking. At the same independent pharmacy with no insurance, he would pay $552. But the same generic drugs at 3 chains are well over $200 more. That's $2,400 more a year. So it matters where you buy.
I truly do not have a good explanation for why there would be that obscene of a difference of price.
And lastly, investigate the so-called savings plans. Some big box store pharmacies offer discount programs, but
They have to make up that money somewhere else.
the $4 list is for limited prescriptions, not all.
Oftentimes, places with the largest $4 lists are going to have larger markups also on other products that are not on that list, especially on generics that are not cheap enough to be on the $4 list.
You know, there's a cancer patient who perhaps doesn't have insurance, could be charged hundreds of dollars for a drug that costs $10. How can they mark it up so much?
There's really no laws or requirements that indicate what the markup can be. It's basically a kind of a free marketplace, just like it is when you buy a car.
Free market or influence? The drug industry spends millions lobbying lawmakers to battle drug pricing restraints.
I don't think there's any industry that is more effective other than big oil in terms of lobbying all of our politicians. So the pharmaceutical industry impact on what happens in healthcare is truly huge.
However, when told of our findings, not one responded to ITMate's request for information on how they price generic drugs.
And late today, we finally heard from one of the national chains who said they price based on the drug manufacturer's price, operational factors, and what they call local competition.
So interesting that Amy Peake is somebody who's that connected to what happens in the industry. She's saying no laws. It's hard to believe that there wouldn't be some kind of regulation.
You're exactly right, at least not at this point. And when I asked the Indiana Attorney General about it, if this actually walked the line of price gouging, I was reminded that in Indiana there is only one statute for price gouging, and that's when it comes to gas prices. Now, we have all of the generic drugs that we called around and checked on. If you want to look at it, it's on our website. Be prepared to be a little shocked, maybe a little angry. Also, we have a link to all of the pharmacies that are local, plus a link to the guide for low-cost prescription buying. That's all at wishtv.com. This was eye-opening.
I'll bet, yes, it is eye-opening. It's worth looking at all that and making sure you're not getting ripped off or
exactly
getting
right.
the best price, at least on our end, and we could do that. Karen, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.